The AC starts us off. In all seriousness, though, sometimes it's helpful to start off a discourse with a question, not only to stimulate thought, to really put in perspective the focus of the discussion. For me lately, that question has been, what would the new you do? How would they be? How would they act? How would they see things? How would they deal with people? How would they move through this life? What would the new you do? On the surface, it can kind of seem like a silly question, right? How am I supposed to know what the new me would do? I'm just me now. I'm just trying to figure out what the current me's trying to do. You're talking about the new me. What does that even mean? That's where you need to know where you're going, right? That's They always say, if you don't know where you're going, how you know you're going to get there. But if you have some sort of idea of who it is that you want to become, the qualities that they possess, the characteristics that they embody, the behaviors, the attitudes, the beliefs that constitute them, then you can really know, at least at the beginning, where it is that you want to go. What would the new you do? I guarantee you it's not going to be what the old you is doing right now. That's definitely the case for me. It's a complete 180. Night and day difference. Thankfully, I'm a night owl, which is, why I'm making this video right now. But, to thine own self be true. And it can be really challenging. Not only to make that decision, but to live faithfully to it in this world, amidst opposition, amidst maybe criticism. That only holds the weight that you give it. You still ultimately decide if it affects you or not. Otherwise, it's just data. It's just feedback. Just information. It's neutral. See, the old me would have lived in the mirror. The old me would have tried to change the mirror and would have looked at that for validation. The new me, not so. He recognizes that if you want the mirror to change, you have to change the reflection. You have to change what's being reflected into it, I should say. You don't look to it for validation either, because that comes from within you. You don't need any validation. You're self sustaining. God has given you sovereignty. Act sovereign. It doesn't require external validation. Never did. Never will. You see, the thing about this is you can't expect to reap new fruits by continuing the same labors, continuing old habits, old thought patterns, engaging in them. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That's a fantastic book. I highly recommend that book. As a man thinketh. And he's right. Those thoughts constitute the character of that man. Those thoughts are going to be reflected in how he acts, how he moves through the world, how he conducts himself, professionally, personally, recreationally, otherwise. No exceptions. It will always be reflected, always and at all times. So why not have a reflection that is actually faithful to you, authentic according to your own spirit. But to do that, you have to be willing to go through growing pains. You have to be willing to, really, in a sense, forsake the old. The old has to die for the new to be born. And it's very painful, especially as the old is dying. You can feel it dying. I'm not trying to be dramatic right now. I'm being dead serious. You can feel it dying inside of you. And you can also feel that being again reflected. You see a common theme here, reflected in the changes that you're experiencing outside of your life. You can see all of that. You can feel all of that. It's palpable. You can't ignore it. It's really intuitive to an extent. So it's not that you shouldn't aim to feel it. You should aim to understand what it is that you're feeling. It is the death of the old identity, the passing away to give birth to something new. And the thing is to ride out the wave and let the destruction give birth to creation. It might be that you feel a lot of pressure as the destruction mounts. As you can feel the old identity kind of dying, ebbing away, ebbing away, ebbing away. I know I did. I know I do at times still. Tremendous amount of not stress. I wouldn't describe it as stress. Almost like a heaviness. We'll use that as an illustration. A heaviness. But then that always gives way. If I continue to endure, if I remember that it is an ebbing away, that heaviness is not who I am. Heaviness does not represent me. It's merely phenomena. It's merely a fleeting experience. This too shall pass, as everything always does, always has, and always will. What would the new you do? That is a question that is meant to be reflected upon and evaluated systematically and individually based on the person. But it is my belief, and I believe it will also be yours if it isn't already, that the answers are already within us. We already have a deep sense of who we wish to be, of how we see our life going, unfolding. And every single one of us are given an option, clear and distinct choice, to live according to that vision, come hell or high water, even despite hell or high water, to walk away and live according to somebody else's vision, or someone or something else's vision, society's vision, the state's vision, an institution's vision, a corporation's vision, your family's vision, your friend's vision, your significant other's vision, etc., etc., etc. Each of us are given a choice. We can live according to our own vision. And we can live truly according to this. Nobody can take that away from us if that is our choice, if we make that decision. That's ours to make, you understand? Ours to make. Or we can go the other direction, which would essentially be abandoning our own vision for comfort, for safety, security, love. I'll not lie and say that it's an easy choice to make. Maybe theoretically, there are certain considerations to be weighed, matters to be evaluated. I'll not pretend that that doesn't exist. That would be unfair to me. That would be unfair to myself, quite frankly, in my own experience, and that would also be unfair to you all and your experiences. So I'll refrain from that. You can thank me later. But the point of the matter is this: it is our decision to make either way. We have the freedom to make that decision. We can look at how our lives are right now. We can go back to the past for a second and see our old selves, how we acted, how we saw ourselves, our self-concept, the relationships that we had, how we were wronged, how we failed. And we can let that define us. But that's no kind of life. Really, you've already died. We can say, you know what? This led me right here, right now, so that I could see, so I could see clear vision, the person that I truly am, the one that I was always meant to become. And how would that person act? Who would that person be? Be that. Act faithfully to that. And if it feels fake, recognize that you're trying something new. It takes a little bit of time to break in. It's still you. You are always you. Only you can know you. Fake according to what? Better question. Fake according to who? Think about that one. You already have the answer. I don't even have to say anything. But I thought that tonight's subject needed to be said because it's been weighing. I wouldn't say weighing. It's been floating in the ether of my mind as of late, and it's very reminiscent of where I am in my life currently. A lot of change, a lot of growth, a lot of decay, a lot of death. Those two seemed so foreign to me once, but now two sides of the same coin. Something to consider at the very least. As always, make it your own and really decide what that even means. This ideal of newness, this representation, what it means for you and yours. And I would be remiss if I left out the kernel, as I always must. Always remember who it is that you are and live faithfully and bravely and courageously from that. God bless.